At the top right of the map, we have a Zerg player in the GSL Code A. He was able to take down Puzzle with a 2-1, but this is the map that the Protoss player won. Will the Zerg player be able to pull it off today? He's starting for the Startail team. It is
Startail, Curious.
Looking, you know, really aggressive with his economy last game. His opponent, I hope he's got his power gloves with him. He's going for the pylon on the low ground, in fact, this game. Playing for Slayers, one of many pros in this tournament. He is
Slayers, Puzzle.
And Puzzle, with how he played in the second game after he realized that he was this far behind, this looked a lot stronger. His unit control just being top-notch today, really well played. This is more the Puzzle that we've seen in the GSL so far. The Puzzle that is really one player that is the backbone of Slayers here. So he, I like it a lot more today.
Hi from Portland, Oregon. His life's for ire.
Well, then he is in for a treat, because so far the Protoss players are doing pretty good in this tournament, and with the PvPs that we're having coming up just after this match, I think he will be quite happy.
Yeah, it's probably his dream come true, man. He's come to Korea, watch these matches, watch Protoss versus Protoss. No matter what, Protoss wins. Pretty good. Sick deal.
Curious this time with the spawning pull first. And let's see how Puzzle is going to play this out.
Goes for the Forge.
Zilla said that he trained a lot, that he really put a lot of effort into the matchup, that he wants to advance, that he wants to go to the Asia finals, and therefore Puzzle now with a performance so far on map number 1, good position. Not really able to block this hatch for any time at all, so a bit of a sad story here for this probe that was trying to make it happen. But let's see how exactly the early game is going to plan out here.
Yeah, that is something that I'm really curious to see. What, like, for example, Curious was doing something last game that you hardly ever see in this match. We have seen it before, but it's very rare. And on this map, will he do something else unusual? Because like you said, this is something he has said in interviews, he feels a little bit predictable right now.
The thing about Puzzle is, though, that what kind of a transition do you expect here? Because we've seen a lot of Stargate play recently on Cloud Kingdom.
I think that Puzzle will go for Stargate play here. Robotics play here has been seen, but I think this is one of the hardest maps to make it work. You have to go all the way around the left side, really, if you want to make it work, because trying to break up the ramp is not very easy. But then, like you mentioned yesterday as well, we talked about this on this map. If you do come from the left side, you can use the hatchery against your opponent with good force field. So we'll see. This is a map that's very unique in that there's several different entry points to the third base, whereas on Daybreak there's kind of only one.
Yeah. No, that's so true. The third base is now coming up for Curious at 4:20 timing, and he has Queens on his way. And now, of course, with the Cybernetics core started, Puzzle has to think about what kind of transition he wants to start. He has the double gas in the main base already, has just now started his mining, and we'll find out very soon what exactly he's going to pull off. He scouts the third, he knows that it's there, so this probe is actually like a little bit annoying, even though it's been chased by 2 Zerglings.
Yeah, he's got the money. Oh.
1 hit point left.
Oh, I hope he pressed C on that probe. It doesn't matter, because see you later. No return cargo for that probe.
Nope. No way to sneak past the Zella. That is not there yet. And actually a huge gap in this wall.
Yeah, actually.
We've seen Genius die to a Zerg attack by J-Dong with such a wall, so definitely a little bit of a problem sometimes. But here comes the pylon.
Yeah. Orthodontist probe, man. He fixes the gap. Yeah. Puzzle... What's his transition going to be? No +1? Starting to look more and more like, ooh, Stargate.
As predicted, he's going for the Stargate. And he hides the Stargate. We might actually just see him building a couple of Phoenixes, hiding them in the main base. If you really want to go for the Void Ray first, most Protoss players will build the Stargate more to the top right of the main base, or actually down at the natural, to get into a position to kill the Overlords immediately. They try to force a reaction out of the Zerg player, in most cases, a Hydra den, and then transition out into the Colossi play. But right now, with the position for the Stargate as it is, looks like Puzzle might just go for this Phoenix style.
Curious is taking his first 2 gases. He's doing this at the natural to kind of throw Puzzle off if he scouts early. And the answer to the Stargate question will be coming up here pretty soon. Faster than the beta will come out for Heart of the Storm, I think, because at the bottom left here we see Phoenix first.
And he's rallied them to the left side of the Stargate, so he is going to hide them. I like it.
I like it as well. And when you know that your opponent doesn't know, that's quite valuable, because you can use that.
The scouting information for Curious is basically completely... the only thing that he knows is there is no +1 attack upgrade, but there are not a lot of anti-air units that he has in order to take down the Overlord, so the Overlord will most likely see the Stargate.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to have just enough vision to do so.
Oh, is he going to the top left now? Ah, there comes... Is he actually able to pull this off?
I think he's going to see it.
He sees the Chrono Boost, and...
He sees it!
Just in time. And now he has to move out with the Phoenixes. Usually you wait for 4 Phoenixes to attack because 4 Phoenixes will be able to kill a Queen in 1 lift. But right now, is he waiting for the 4th? Looks like he is. Here comes a follow-up. 3 additional gateways.
You know,
+1 has been started.
Puzzle doesn't know that Curious knows either. He may think that the Overlord didn't quite see it. I mean, he can't go and press the V key and check Curious' vision right now, so... I like that Curious tried to do a little run by with his Lings while the units were coming in. Curious does react with Spore Crawlers, 4 of them in fact, and I think he's going to skip Hydra's Den though.
Yeah, this is of course a little bit annoying now for Puzzle that his strategy was already revealed, but Curious' transition is going to be an interesting one. On Leertek, is he going to skip the Hydra Den and going straight for the Infestors to deal with this, or will we see him rely on the Hydralisks after all? That's something that we will see in just a few seconds. The Phoenixes are already on the move. He doesn't build additional ones, he's really only sticking with 4 here, and here's the Infestation Pit. I like this choice. Yep. Much better than the Hydra, in my opinion.
Much better. It's got a lot more flexibility. The Hydra doesn't force you to be aggressive after you defend, and it takes out the Queen. No problem, but there's extra Queens, so he cannot really get into the drone line. If he doesn't kill all of the Queens, you know, or at least half of them, that's not really affect Curious' production that much. And he spent so much gas on these Phoenixes that I mean, it's going to be annoying, but it's not really as good as he planned for it to be.
This is still a big problem for Curious, and I'm a little bit...
Oh, wow, he's keeping his Queens a little bit separated, you know what I mean?
I'm disappointed about this, because he had the Spore Crawlers already, so he loses 1 Phoenix, but he takes down the...
Oh, no!
There it is. Takes down the Queen. No, not quite. Yeah. But the thing is, I'm a little bit disappointed, because now we have a Zergling run by, so we'll wait for that for just a few seconds. The Zerglings actually facing now the just freshly warped in Zealots, and so far the Zerglings are going to win this fight.
Yeah, just barely. Phoenix is trying to change that slowly.
There is not a lot left for Puzzle, actually. He even lifts a few of them. And no, this cannon is not going to be built. I'm sorry, Puzzle, but you will have to rebuild the pylon first.
Yeah, this is actually, you know, that was an okay trade for Curious.
Yeah. What I wanted to say is that I'm disappointed by Curious that he did not actually put his Queens next to the Spore Crawlers. He could have saved every single one of them. Losing 3 Queens like this was unnecessary.
I don't know how much I like the second Bling Wave. Okay, yeah, he's going to go past, because that's one thing. But there's a Zealot blocking.
Why doesn't he run into the base?
There is a Zealot.
Okay, there's a Zealot. For a second I really thought there was a gap.
You know, he's actually not really able to make these Lings work with all the Force Field energy available. And the nice wall. Puzzle actually is setting things up here. He's trying to target the Nexus, but he can actually just Force Field, and this is not trading very well for Curious right now.
It's putting a lot of pressure and a strain on the Protoss player, though. Curious is now taking his 4th. And Puzzle at the same time is going for this transition that we talked about earlier. You lead up with the Stargate and then you transition into the Colossi. Now we have the first Immortal on the map. And with the Robotic Spade done, the production will soon be switched to Colossus. But Curious already has the first Infestors being building. He has 8 of them and the speed for his Roaches as well. A little bit of a waypoint problem here.
Yeah. Problematic, but Puzzle solves that problem by taking out the Overlord. He's like, here you go, boom. Now I just want to remind you to set your waypoint to a different location. Phoenix scouts the 4th, quite crucial. Spire is going up, and this is of course going to be for Hive Tech. Not likely going to make any Mulus, but it is possible. In fact, Curious does have the opportunity, but with the second Spire, it's starting to, with the second Evolution Chamber coming through here, I'm kind of curious. I keep saying the word Curious, despite the fact that's one of the names of one of our players. It actually drives me crazy whenever I say Curious when he's playing. He needs to change his ID. Oh, he sees it, but unfortunately they have burrow movement. That's part of the features on Infestors, and
this will potentially kill the base.
If he targets the Nexus, it certainly will.
He lost every single sentry, and now he starts to target the Nexus. This is a great attack by Curious. He knew that his opponent didn't have the units ready, and now the 3rd is gone. And the problem for Puzzle is that we still have the 4th base.
He needs to move these probes, and he does, but a bit late, and several of them still go down.
That was such a great move by Curious. This really worked, despite the Observer spotting every single burrowed Infestor.
Yeah, he didn't have enough units. He tried to force field them out, and it didn't work. The second evolution chamber is done, but he has not started anything there. He's got +1 Carapace on the way, and I'm thinking that he's going to start +2 pretty soon. I would assume there it is.
And he needs Corruptors now, because Puzzle finds himself in an odd position. He's on 2 bases against 4. He knows about the 4th. He can try to rebuild the 3rd base, or he can push out. But Curious has the Spire ready, so the Corruptors will be his response to deal with the Colossi. And that's definitely going to be a really hard recovery for Puzzle. A comeback in this game is going to be very, very difficult to pull off, because Curious is now maxed out on 200 supply against 120. Hive Tech has been started. The attack upgrade that you just mentioned is on the production tab, and we have him with a good unit composition. So Curious cannot really attack, but trying to play a catch-up game with the Zerg player is just so hard in this position.
Especially with the Hive coming through here as well. And the +2 is not only going to be used for the Roach count, which is actually quite small right now. I think he's got like less than 20, yeah, 18 in total. It's also going to help Infested Terrans when he wants to fight with those later on as well. And Curious is just, look at his bank starting to develop here. That's going to first go to the Broodlords, but then after that, he can decide to keep that to Remax, or he could decide to donate to charity. He's got a lot of choices.
Yeah, he indeed has. He just has to find out which company actually, or which organization he wants to donate to. And I hope it's not Puzzle, because that might bring the Protoss player back into the game.
Yeah, he's putting those Corruptors into a dangerous spot, but here come the Infestors now to support. The Colossus count is not that high. The Corruptors coming right away. Corrupts.
A very awkward position to engage.
Yeah, I don't know if he should actually be committing to this, but he will remove the Colossi.
He really wants to bully his way through here. Doesn't even use Corruption on those Colossi, taking down 2 of them. Dropping supply quite significantly, trading with the energy now for units, but still, this was an awkward position to actually engage.
He traded okay, though, with that bank that we talked about. If he didn't have that 4th base up as long as this would have been a terrible position for Curious, but now he's got that extra gas, and look at how fast his gas goes back up to 200 already after he spends it all on Roaches and a few more Corruptors. And I think now he can probably take the top left base, for example, make some Spine Crawlers up there. He's making 10 Spine Crawlers already.
And he's getting the Greater Spire, so he really wants to go for the Broodlords, of course.
I love this. This is just a small little cool thing to do with his Roaches, as they're not, you know, that useful out in the middle of the map, but he does get denied.
Yeah, all the Roaches are going to die. If you talk about the resources, this is of course not a good trade for Curious, but he can definitely pull it off with all the resources that he has. Important for him is now that he is buying himself time until the Greater Spire is done and he has Broodlords. Therefore the Spine Crawlers and the position at the 4th base. Puzzle knows he cannot move out, and Curious will try to prevent the 4th base for the Protoss player.
And while Puzzle is struggling to remax on his, you know, reconstructed 3rd base, he doesn't have the resource to make a fleet beacon very cost efficiently, but he's going to need that.
The income so much better for Curious, of course. Him saturating all these mineral lines and the gases as well is a great position. It's really awesome for him. And now the Greater Spire, it is done. And look at the bank, 1,000 gas, 2,000 minerals, and he's putting them to use immediately. 7 Broodlords morphing.
Yeah, he dumps everything. He's holding down that B key. Get those Broodlords out. Puzzle has a scary army now. He's making cannons. He's got the Warp Prism. It looks like he wants to attack and end the game. There's very few Corruptors on the map. This is actually going to be pretty scary. Curious still might die here. The Spine Crawlers are not all too useful against Colossi with range and Immortals.
Top left, you have another base for Curious right now, and immediately Infested Terrans, a small roach run by to the 3rd of Puzzle. And here come the Broodlords. They are ready. The Infestors dropping Infested Terrans, but immediately they are being killed by the Colossi. And this is an awkward position now. He just doesn't have the Antia, but he's able to take down the Stalkers.
Fungals were so crucial here. It takes out Immortals. And the run-by, those were units that were not part of Curious's army, but at the same time he kills all the probes here.
And he is able to kill the Nexus, but the main fight atop
the Broodlords are way too far forward. He's going to lose 2 of them at least, it looks like here.
He's going to lose more. He needs to retreat to the Spine Crawlers, and he does. The 3rd base for Puzzle is gone, though.
He has to win now with this army.
Everything, exactly. He needs to finish it now, but can he? The Corruptors are being built.
Curious is making 4 more drones right now, which I find to be a bit insane. He's dropping more Infested Terrans. The Broodlings buffering a little bit more. As Puzzle's army gets reduced, he cannot make it. 1 Stalker in production right now. He picks off another Broodlord. The Spine Crawler positioning is great, and that Fungal on the ramp was so sick. Puzzle is dropping in supply. I'm not sure if he can actually break through here. The Roaches come back.
The 180 supply. The Roaches are on the move. They take down one of the Colossi. A second one dies as well. The Broodlords in position and the Corruptors as well. And now Puzzle down to 80 supply. His Stalker count, that's all that's remaining for him, and he only has 9 left. We have 12 Infestors. They are gathering up the energy, and it looks like we will see game number 3 between Puzzle and Curious. The Zerg player showing no mercy here.
No mercy. GG!